Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We spent the first part of today's show talking about the Cleveland Browns. Let's switch our attention over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The 64-win and second-round exited Cleveland Cavaliers have gotten their upcoming schedule for the 25-26 season. And if you don't like the Cavs on local TV, you are in luck because they have 24 nationally televised games this season. Also on the schedule, Jason, 14 back-to-backs. The most of any team in the league was 16. The fewest of any team in the league was 12, so the Cavs fall right in that middle sweet spot. They have 6 games on holidays, which is 2 more than last year. And I thought it was at least worth noting, but they finished the season, their final 33 games, 20 are on the road, so 13 at home, 20 on the road. Jason, we did this with the NFL. When the Browns schedule comes out, did the schedule makers do the Browns any favors? Let's pivot this and ask about the Cavs. How did the schedule makers give the Cavs and help them out this season, or did they do them dirty?
No, I covered the NBA for 10 years, and for the most part, schedules are schedules. Every schedule has rough pockets. Every schedule has a little bit of a breathe easier part. The curious part to me is they have 4 days off in early March. Highly unusual in the NBA. The one thing I like that I think the NBA needs to do more often, the NBA is obsessed with rest now. They're obsessed with trying to get these guys proper sleep at night. There's a couple instances where they're in Miami for 3 days. I mean, I know it's Miami, but they play both games at one time, and I think that's a good thing. I've been advocating that for a while. It's almost like a baseball series. You go and you stay in one place for 3 or 4 days. You get these guys, I mean, it's Miami, but theoretically they get a full night's sleep in a bed rather than landing in a city at 3 a.m. and only getting a few hours. Play both games, and then you're done with that commitment to that city, and then you move on to the next one. I think they have one in Philly like that this year and one in Miami like that. I think they need to be looking for avenues to do that more often in the NBA. Ending the schedule more on the road than at home isn't ideal. But again, that 4-day break at the start of March helps.
Huge.
Yeah, usually in March is when guys are really starting to drag a little bit. That's when you hit the wall. So if you can get them off their feet, gets them some time at home and rest. I'm sure they'll take a couple off days. They can really dig in, though, with a couple of practice days at that point. As you get into the grind of an NBA season, a lot of times you can't practice. We saw that last year. You're trying to get these guys rested in the little pockets when you can. So getting those 4 days at the start of March, they can get a couple of really good practices in before you start that final stretch toward the end of the regular season.
You know, I think the fans, more on the fans' perspective of it, you know, they got a bunch of national TV games. And so everybody's like, favorable. This is favorable for me. I love it. I get to watch the Cavs, and it gives you that validation. People always say, locally, you could probably watch the Cavs, every single Cavs game, if you get your package together. But you know, people want to see those national televised games because they want to see the national perspective. 24 national TV games. The big one is you finally get a Christmas Day. You're back in Christmas Day against the Knicks. And basically what the league has said is, all right, we'll look around. Pacers is out of here. We don't believe in the Sixers. The Milwaukee Bucks look like they're on the decline. And you look around the league, the Cavs, they're saying, yeah, it's the Cavs and the Knicks two-man race. We putting our money on those two guys. So I think fans will be excited about it. And, you know, people, it's always good to see national TV games. So I think people is excited about what the Cavs can do. It ain't the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
But they'll take the national TV.
It's also cool. We're on WKYC right now. 5 of those nationally televised games are via Peacock, which is also part of the NBC family. So basically, we're now brothers with the Cavaliers. So that's pretty cool.
What a reach. That was the craziest reach of all time.
I do think, though, in all seriousness, it's kind of hard for the NBA schedule makers to do a team dirty versus not, because you know exactly who you're going to play. You're going to play the West Conference teams twice.
Right.
You play your division teams 4 times. You're going to play the other teams twice. Like, you already know who you're going to play. You already know where you're going to play them. You play a home and home with each team. It comes more down to, are you getting an absurd amount of back-to-backs? Who are you playing off those back-to-backs? And I saw a graphic on Twitter from real Cavs fans this morning who said the Cavs, who have 14 back-to-backs, are playing 17 times against teams in the second night of a back-to-back. So they have a +3 advantage, which is the second highest mark in all of basketball. And I think those little things over the course of the season do matter. So if we're saying, did they do them a favor? Did they do them dirty? I think, frankly, they had a pretty favorable schedule. Obviously, you want to end the season with more games at home than on the road. But I go back to last March, Jason. They were playing every other night.
Yeah.
And to have 4 days off in the month of March before that final playoff stretch, That's huge.
And one thing that doesn't really get discussed is where Cleveland is located in relation to other. You're an hour flight away. So when you're going on a road trip, if you're leaving from Cleveland, you can be in a lot of spots in an hour. Whereas if you're in Miami or you're in Portland and you got to get somewhere, it's a lot longer of a flight, and that adds up. And it's something that doesn't really get talked about. But if you look at like the miles flown every year that these teams have to fly, Cleveland is normally like middle of the pack, even toward the top, because most of the flights they're easy to get to. You can get to D.C., you can get to Charlotte.
You split the country in half, so even if you go west, it's half.
If you go west, you've got a day off before, and you've got a day to recover because everybody goes at the same time. But for a lot of these back-to-backs, if you're at home and then you're leaving, you're only going an hour. You're going to Charlotte. You're going to New York.
Right.
You're going to Boston. You can get to a lot of places hour and 15 minutes.
I feel like if you play for this Thunder, I feel like everywhere is 3 hours. Like you're at Oklahoma City, you're like, all right, well, I got to go to Portland. That's kind of far. I got to go to New York. That's super far. I got to go to Miami. That's crazy far.
Well, imagine if you're in Miami and you got to go on a West Coast road trip and you're hitting up Salt Lake City and Denver. Yeah. Last thing on the Cavs schedule, they obviously have the Christmas game. They're part of ESPN's opening Wednesday night doubleheader. They also, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, where the whole world shuts down, they have basketball nonstop, a 2:30 home tip-off against the defending NBA champion OKC Thunder. The only time all season Cleveland welcomes OKC to town. It is a nationally televised game on Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the primetime 2:30 window spot, which I think shows what the league thinks of these two teams and how exciting those matchups were last season.
And by the way, people say they don't care. Oh, they will care then. Just for that game.
I mean, that's all well and good, but I'm looking forward to rivalry week and the Charlotte Hornets. What a stupid. How could you promote that?
I think it has to be
in the Charlotte Hornets.
Well, it has to be Lonzo versus LaMelo. That's the only thing I could think of.
But how about Orlando? Like, if you want to try and put some sort of budding rivalry in there, how about Orlando? Like, there's. I'll take Atlanta. Like, give me something besides Charlotte. And then to promote it, like, if you run out of teams and you got to play Charlotte, okay, fine.
But don't put on the graphic.
What about Detroit? They could have gave us Detroit.
Could have given Detroit. Detroit would have been a better option.
A lot of better options, but apparently the Cavs are rivals with the Charlotte Hornets, and we will find that out.
Wow.
How much animosity
now you know.
is in that matchup. All right,